Hi! Thought I'd quickly jump on because I want to share my story with you about my addiction to sugar. So if you've seen in the title, I'm going to talk to you about my 30-day sugar-free challenge and the weight loss results. So normally I'm talking about love, dating and relationships. As you know, I'm a love coach for single women looking for love. Hi Dennis! But this time I'm going to talk about my personal story with my addiction towards sugar. Now, it kind of got to a head quite recently, about a couple of months ago. Hi Paolo, how are you? But I've always been addicted to sugar, and I'm talking from way before my teens. I love chocolate. My friends who are close to me will know that how much I love chocolate, love chocolate, and I love cakes. And so I've never been a super big girl. I've never been super skinny. I would say at my lightest weight, I've written it down, my lightest weight was probably about 133 pounds, and my heaviest was probably about, would be 151 pounds. Okay, so on some scales that would be actually okay, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean what your body mass index is, what your layers of fat are carrying around. So I've never particularly been too bothered about my weight, but I have been bothered about my addiction towards sugar. And so it got to a head recently when I was away on holiday, and it was an all-inclusive. It was an absolute fabulous holiday. Loved it. And there was just food all around. Great, I'm on holiday, I'm gonna have a good time, so why not just enjoy the food? And I enjoyed that food a little bit too much. So imagine I'm in this beautiful resort, food always available, 24/7, and I would still take food to my room. And I'm not just talking about food, and I'm talking about the cakes. And I would pile my plate up with cakes. And I did this every breakfast, every lunch, and every dinner, but I was never, ever satisfied. And it just really got me thinking about that this had control over me. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I would just obsess about it. It was just ridiculous. I couldn't wait for my next meal. I couldn't wait for it. I'm there in this beautiful place, and all I could think about was, when am I going to get a next piece of cake? And I had to. I felt this compulsion to actually carry this food with me to my room, and it's as if I kind of felt safe having like this food with me in the room, and it was just ridiculous. I could see the insanity of it, but I couldn't do anything about it at the time. But in that time away, I just got like talking to people around. I was with my family, but I got talking to people around, and there was someone there who was suffering from diabetes, and he was talking about his diet, and it just really made me think. It made me stop and think, and that, okay, I'm at a point in my life, no one's getting any younger. I like to stay well. I love fitness. I love going to the gym. I love exercising. That's never been an issue. But I knew the way that I ate at some point was going to make me ill, and I didn't fancy that. So it was as if a decision kind of was made in my head. Now I'm telling you that I've been struggling with this since my teenage years. That's a long time. Not giving away my age, but that's a long time. Let me know. Come and say hi. Let me know if you've struggled with food, if you've got any food addictions, especially around sugar, right? Because I know about this. So it's been a long time, and I've gone on cleanses, I've gone on detoxes, I've tried all kinds of different diets: raw food diet, vegan diet, paleo, keto, intermittent fasting, you name it, I've tried it. But honestly, nothing's ever really broken my addiction. It's gotten better over the years. Now I can go to a supermarket and, I can leave the supermarket without a cake. Chocolate, you love it too, Lisa. Good. Dark chocolate's my favourite. And but do you have any addictions? Do you have any food addictions or sugar addictions that you feel as if, that it has control over you? So I couldn't go past a cake shop without admiring the cakes. I couldn't go to the supermarket and walk past the cakes without getting one. It just felt impossible to me. So it's just something that I've been struggling with for years. And you know, it would be at night time. That would be like my major struggle would be at night time. Let me know if you ever struggle in the night time. And it would get to around 10, 11 o'clock. I'd be in bed and I'd just think I really want something to eat. And I'd come downstairs and I'd get toast with butter. Love toast with butter. With biscuits or crisps. That would be my go-to. So I could be up till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, stuffing my face with junk food. I wanted my fix. And it was never one biscuit. It was never one biscuit. There's been loads of times where I could just demolish in like 2 seconds flat, you know, a big packet of biscuits. And, you know, this wasn't as occasionally. It got into a very, very bad habit. I could be doing this like every night. And so it got to a head when I was on holiday. And on this holiday, I eat when you're bored. Yeah, I eat when I'm bored as well. Sometimes when I'm stressed at the same time. Do you gain weight, or is weight not a problem for you, Lisa? And so I completely lost my train of thought. And so anyway, yeah, it just got to a point where I was on holiday, completely just went nuts on food, and I gained 5 pounds, which might not seem significant, but 5 pounds in 7 days is. And my stomach was just bloated. Hi Valerie, hi, how you doing? Nice to see you. Do you suffer from any addictions with food? Do you struggle, especially around sugar? That's been my thing. And so my belly was just totally bloated, really distended. I looked pregnant. Now I'd look in the mirror, just feel so uncomfortable within myself. You definitely have gained weight since you changed jobs and your activity is less. Okay, that makes sense. So my belly would be so bloated and sticking out. It looked as if I was pregnant. It would be hard as well. I'd wear my clothes, you know, my size, if it's size in clothes didn't really change, but how they fit definitely changed. And I'd be, you know, I'd always get my trousers up on my legs, but then it'd be difficult, like putting it at my waist. I'd be wearing tops that were loose around the belly, and I just felt just so uncomfortable. It just felt uncomfortable. I didn't want to be bloated. So I made the decision to do something different. And I don't know what was different this time, but it was just very different from all the other years that I've really struggled with this. So I just made a decision. I thought, okay, for 30 days, you're just not going to eat sugar. I wasn't scared. I wasn't frightened of it before. I had been before. That would have sent me an emotional spiral down. The idea of not being without sugar, not being without sweet things, it would have really sent me sideways without question. And, you know, it was less like, you know, it was comfort food. It was comforting to me. But I made that decision. As soon as I got back from holiday, I said, no, for 30 days, I'm just going to see what life is like without sugar. And so, hi Elaine, hi, how are you? And so this is exactly what I did. I went through all my cupboards, I went through the fridge, I went through all my cupboards, and I looked at every single packet, and I looked at about all the hidden sugars. And even though I knew all this stuff, but it was just still a revelation to me to find out how much. Hi Saudi, hi, how are you? Do you struggle with any addictions around food, especially around sugar, which is my addiction? So I went through every single packet, and I was shocked. I was genuinely shocked at the amount of sugar in foods and hidden sugars. And apparently there are over 50 different terms for sugars, you know, maltodextrin or high fructose syrup or corn syrup, or, you know, there's just so many of them. I was so surprised about all these alternative names for sugars and how much we're consuming sugars, how much I was consuming sugar that I wasn't even realizing it. I don't eat cereal or anything like that, but I could, you know, I do eat bread, all kinds of food really. But it really got me thinking. So I made a decision that I wouldn't buy any processed food when I go to the supermarket. So that cuts out 80% of the supermarket. I got rid of everything that I had in my cupboards. I just like, no, I'm not going to eat that anymore. I also looked at my fruits, my desire for fruit. You know, I love fruit. My parents are from the Caribbean. I love mangoes and pineapple and all that good stuff. But I thought, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. So I stopped eating bananas, mangoes, pineapples, all those fruit. And the only the fruit that I allowed myself to have were like strawberries and blueberries, okay, which wouldn't normally be my favourite, but hey. I'm thinking what else to do. I also looked at the starchy carbs. Hi, Pete. I also looked at my starchy carbs. So I looked at, hi, Claire, how you doing? Do you suffer from any addictions around food? Sugar addiction, which is mine. So I looked at my starchy carbs as well, because every time I had starchy carbs, I would blow up like a balloon. Every time my heart would pound. And this was pretty soon after eating it. I would get a high and then I would slump low and I'd want to go to sleep. So I was having these, you know, energy fine in the morning sometimes, but sometimes not so much energy in the morning. Struggling with sleep sometimes. And each time I ate in that way, you know, I love potatoes, mashed, fried, boiled, love them. So, you know, potatoes is one of my things. I was never into rice or pasta particularly, but the starchy carbs pretty much would knock me to sleep. They were like a sleeping pill. So I thought, okay, those are going to have to go. So what am I left with? Protein, vegetables, and fat. Woo! But do you know what? It wasn't like I was determined. Like I said, I made that decision and it was just my decision. So the first 4 days, not going to lie to you, were hell. They were hell. I was absolutely exhausted. I felt as if I'd gone 10 rounds with, I don't know, with Mike Tyson or something in the ring. Absolutely just exhausted. I struggled to get out of bed. I couldn't think for the whole day. I felt out of sorts. I felt very, very uncomfortable. But I still was focused. I thought nothing's going to take me away from my particular goal. It was very unpleasant. I came out in a rash. You know, I don't get spots. Normally I have quite good skin, but I came out in a rash all around my mouth, and then these spots on my face. I'm like, oh no, you know. But I just assumed, okay, this sugar has got to come out of my body. I've been eating this way for years. You know, I've had some great spells, but mostly, you know, sugar. And so I thought, okay, clearly I'm detoxing, and all that is gotta come out. It's gotta come out. My sleep became terrible. My moods became low. But after the 4 days, things started to get a lot better. I was preparing all my food. I started watching loads of YouTube videos of other people who've done sugar detoxes as well. I started to watch a Dr. Berg, and you know, quite a few. I can leave the links below if you want to know the people I've been following online. Hi Gemma, how are you doing? Have you got any sugar addictions or any addictions towards food? Because I have. And so that kept me motivated to see the effects that sugar has on the body. You know, when I've now done like this research about the effect of sugar on the body, it's blown my mind. It's absolutely blown my mind about how it can affect, you know, depression for a start, how it can affect your mood, how it can affect your sleep, how it can affect your libido, how inflammatory it can be. And I'm talking if you're eating these foods in excess, okay? How inflammatory it can be on the body. You know, I helped my mum. My mum was gaining weight, and I said, okay, right, mum, we need to look at your diet. And so I did the exact same thing with my mum. So my mum couldn't walk. She was struggling, okay? So she had absolutely no exercise whatsoever. She had terrible knees. She had I forgot what you call it now, edema in her ankles and her feet, swollen feet and ankles, and she's been to the doctors for the last 6 months. No one could help. You know, and this is my mum. So I did the same thing with my mum. Within 1 week, the edema went down, the swelling from her feet and her ankles completely disappeared. Her knee, which she's been to the hospital for, she's been to the doctors for the past 1.5 years. They could give her injections and they gave her pills. Still didn't work. Within 2 weeks, the pain had completely gone from her knee. And that just blew my mind. It completely blew my mind. And it really showed me that how our foods affects our body and the inflammation that these types of foods cause. And it made sense why I was just always bloated, like just puffy and bloated, and like this pregnant feeling in my belly all the time. It's horrible. So within the first week, I've written it down because I've got it in kilos for those who talk in kilos and in pounds. In the first week, I dropped 5 pounds. So let me just remind you, I gained the 5 pounds when I was away on holiday, right? So when I was on holiday, I went up to 151 pounds. That's just over 68 kilos. So then I dropped 5 pounds in the first week. Within the next 2 weeks, so I did this for 30 days, I got down to 140 pounds. That was 63 kilos. So, you know, my results, I'm saying in those 30 days, and this was just sugar, right? This was just cutting out sugar of everything that I've just said. So in those 30 days, I dropped 11 pounds in those 30 days. And it just shocked me. It just shocked me what all that excess I was carrying around. And then, you know, my sugar cravings went. I thought that was never going to be possible. I genuinely thought this was never going to be possible for me, but genuinely I could be around sugar and I wasn't bothered. I could prepare food for my family and I wasn't bothered by it. Did I do complete sugar-free for 30 days? No! This is where I fell down. When I went out socially, I felt under peer pressure and I thought, okay, well, I want to join in. I don't want to be the odd one out. So I think there was once I had like a gin and tonic. I'm not a big drinker anyway, but I had a gin and tonic. And the next day I felt absolutely really awful. And I thought, God, this is what it's doing to me. I can do without that. And I think there was another occasion where I went out for food. I can't remember what I had, but there certainly was sugar in it. And it was okay, you know, I didn't suffer greatly from it, but I just thought this is just not where I want to be. So I just became really strict. So in those 30 days, I lost 11 pounds. And after the first 4 or 5 days, it was pretty easy. You know, and the first like 6 months before, I go to the gym and I never lost 1 single pound. Arfan, you are very beautiful. Nice so much. Thank you. Hi, Charles. For 6 months, from January this year to July, I never lost a single pound and I was hammering it at the gym and I love going to the gym. And even though all the trainers, the personal trainers were saying to me, it's about your diet, Andrea, it's about your diet. If you don't get that straight, it doesn't make any difference. Didn't listen, but now I listened because you are sugar. Thank you. That's what made the difference. You know, my mum's testament to that, 0 exercise. Oh, and she lost 8 pounds in 30 days, 0 exercise by shifting what she ate. And so it's been an enlightening experience. I watched some great films, Fat, Sick and Tired. And I know there's lots of great films out there that are really educational. So if you're struggling, if you're struggling around any kind of food addiction, certainly sugar addictions, I know about that, then just get in contact with me. Just leave a message, just share your experience and what's helped you, or maybe you're struggling. I would just love to hear about it because I know I'm not alone here. I know I'm not alone here because we all have to eat, right? And it's easy to emotionally eat. It's easy to eat when you're bored. It's easy to eat when you're stressed out. And so I'd just love to hear your journey, really. I just want to share my journey because there must be some of you out there who are struggling. Maybe I could inspire you. I don't know, maybe not. But if you are struggling, there's definitely a way out. And so I think that's about it. I kind of like made notes on my little bit of paper, wanted to make sure I got everything down. But yeah, where I'm at right now, I mean, since those 30 days up, another 3 or 4 weeks have passed, I'm 7 pounds even lighter. I started to implement other things, but I can do another video about other different protocols I've done just to, because I want to remain healthy. You know, I want to have some kind of control over my life. And honestly, I can honestly say I'm not bothered about sugar. I never, ever thought that was possible. I genuinely didn't think that was possible. I don't feel any cravings towards it. I'm not bothered about it. If I feel stressed, diet is important. My son did a 12-week challenge with a personal trainer. He now looks amazing, fantastic. If I feel stressed or I feel emotional, I have 0 desire to reach for sugar. And so I never thought that was possible. So now I've understand more about the biochemistry of the body, of the metabolism of the body. Now it all makes sense to me why I could get to this stage. So Thanks for watching. If you've got any struggles around your own food, if there's any food addictions or sugar addictions, which I know about, I would love to hear from you. Just leave any comments below. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, and bye for now.